Hello guys, welcome to the new Offload module. Hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing amazing. Today I want from you, if you actually got time of your day, you just take a quick pen and quick basically notebook, and we are going to have some quick notes that you are going to take, because this lesson will learn you so much on how to actually start learning high ticket skill. Because I've been through a lot of modules and they don't actually teach you the skill and how to prepare to actually learn those skill and why is it important. And I'm going to explain everything from A to Z. Why is it actually important, how to actually go within this specific situation to learn it, and then we use those high ticket skills to make that cash we all want. So when I've been into the courses, modules, trying to go to the mentorship courses especially, we got straight to the Matery. I think this is bad because they just get me those fancy terms where we learn how to start digital marketing, and then we learn something basically hard terms like Facebook ads, SEO optimization in that specific module of digital marketing. What I want from this module is to actually prepare you for the high ticket skills that you're going to pick and learn, and then this module is going to help you choose it and how to actually go within those modules, because this module is very important to watch and is going to give you so much clarity on how to actually position yourself and position the skills that are going to make you the cash and to actually you learn those high ticket skills. This straightforward lesson, no BS, just straight value, because we at Affluent say affluent growth becomes a habit. So first, why skills decide your future. So we have diploma. We always wanted as kids, if you are good basically in football, if you had that standard kid story, if we weren't good at sports, if we weren't good at some that our other kids were good, we were learning. If we are going to take those kids, for example, we always said we need a diploma. Or people who are in sports always wanted to be professional footballer like Ronaldo, Messi, and like professional football players. And this doesn't guarantee us anything. That diploma, that certificate, if you play football good, it doesn't actually provide any value in terms of getting to learn high tech skills and being paid a lot than other people. And what do I mean by this? Diploma doesn't need financial security actually. First, then you need to of course find a job that can be with actual government or job within other firms, but it doesn't mean so financial security in a way that you're going, if you finish the college then you are financial secure. No, you're going to have the pay, you're going to live paycheck from paycheck. Then skills that the market doesn't pay for equals waste of time. What do I mean by this and what by this bullet? Skills that the market doesn't pay is basically our basic skills and soft skills that we learn at school. It's basic communication. It's like having that information to what happened to Napoleon, what happened to Russia in 1946. No one is interested for that, and no one is going to pay you if you aren't like professor or teaching other kids. And this is what I'm saying to a lot of young people especially. You need to upgrade your skills in terms of you. You need to have those skills that are going to resonate you from other people and that are going to differentiate it from them. And once you actually put the input into learning and getting better at the skills you want to be, and having those initial thoughts and initial language, if you're good for example at speaking, if you're good for example at playing football, you're going to double down on doing that and you're going to be better at that specific skill, if you get me. For example, I'm pretty good at communication, sales, and also being that backend guy. I'll go into that path of being more into IT, into sales, into scaling the products, into helping businesses, something that is actual scalable. And this is how you actually get that high ticket skill. And you of course being multi-variable. What do I mean by this? You need to compensate more skills into one, and then you can't only be good at sales, because within that comes good communication, then comes the actual thought process, then comes the emotional IQ, emotional Q, AQ, IQ, and SQ, and there's a lot of chain skills are in freaking chain. So difference between random skills and those that can generate 1k monthly. This is what I'm saying. Those skills that you have need to be in like some chain, if you get me. Those skills need to be connected, and they need to be pretty straightforward and focused onto one specific outcome. Then common mistakes when learning skills, that's basically learning irrelevant skills nobody's looking for. So there's a lot of people that especially get into the courses, into the modules, mentorships and stuff like that, they focus on theory without practice. This is very bad thing. For example, when I was learning video production, photo production, I was basically just looking the guy what he was doing, and I didn't practice anything. I went through the 16-hour course in basically 2 days, and when I opened the program, I realized I don't know anything, because I needed to do the practice exams and everything that comes within that course. So you need to get that practical side of things, which is of course harder. Theory is easier to learn, if you get me, but in terms of getting that experience and knowledge, you need to actually double down on practice and getting that real life experience. And also there's a lot of bottlenecks that I see within people, is that people jump from course to course with no actual depth. There are a lot of courses, a lot of people who just go into ChatGPT, write all of this, write me some article that is going to help my students to be best dropshipping man in 2025, and ChatGPT is going to give some information that isn't actually relevant to the students they want. These are the specific gurus, and I didn't know that in basically 3 to 4 years ago there wasn't a lot of ChatGPT and AI, but there was YouTube tutorials, and those guys just basically rewrite those YouTube tutorials, which is pretty bullshit. We at Hufflow try to deliver with the best information, and the information that isn't available everywhere. Also, believing you must be an expert before you start. This is also correlated with this bullet, that you are jumping from course to course with no actual depth. Yeah, you will need to be actual big expert into the one thing that you are going to sell. What do I mean? I mean by this, if you're for example trying to learn video editing, then you can't know anything. You can't know every possible scenario that your future client is going to demand from you. So this is what I'm preaching a lot of people, that they need to put in the work. They need to actually close the first client and then learn as they go, and that's the way they become expert. And this market changes so freaking fast. There's something that I don't know, there's something that you don't know, and it's changing so fast. This market is pretty hectic. It's not static, it's dynamic, and we always need to adapt new skills and new ways to actually be better in our job. What high ticket skill actually means? A skill that's basically something that directly can increase profit or save money for business. The formula is pretty simple. Skill times demand times monetization. Formula of this is pretty simple, as I said. The skills are going to save or make profit for other businesses. And this is what high ticket skills are actually, and that they're going to help us to get there. Examples that you're going to see in future modules are going to be something like copywriting, sales/closing, paid ads, content marketing, automations, and AI implementation. Once you actually know these skills, and if you actually watch through every module and pick the skill, and pick the one skill that you're going to be the best at, then it's going to make you so much money, and it's going to position you as the best authority in your niche. Also, how to choose the right skill for yourself. There are the 3 criteria rule. First, the market actually needs it. What do I mean by this? That's what a lot of Alex Hormozy preaches, Ron Sabrason, Grant Cardone, all these, let's say, the best guy in the spaces of consulting. Your product actually needs supply and demand. What do I mean by that? If you, for example, live in India, that's pretty big country, but for example, if you live in one specific place in India, one city, for example New Delhi, if you live there, that market becomes so smaller in terms of whole world, and you can basically sell a product for something like massage for koalas. You can't be that specific because your market is small. Maybe 1 in 100,000 people in New Delhi needs it, and your market isn't big, and your skill isn't valuable. Also, that skill needs to be quickly adaptable and quickly learnable. You need to have that skill to actually learn it fast and adapt to it very fast, and to actually get that client as soon as possible. And also, it can be scalable into freelancing or an actual business or agency. Also, I have self-assessment for you. What you enjoy, what you already know, and what is most profitable. Once you actually ask yourself those questions, it is going to be so easy to identify what you're good at and what digital skill and high ticket skill you can choose from basically copywriting, sales, closing, paid ads, content marketing, automation, and AI implementation. Also, first steps in learning: instead of 20 skills, instead of trying to learn all of these skills at once, you just need to focus on one skill for 90 days. This simple model: just learn, apply, and document. For example, how to use content as leverage. For example, how to use content as leverage while learning your skill. This can be also perfect thing for your brand, info brand, and while building your personal brand, it's documenting the skill you are trying to learn. This is pretty good. For example, when I was trying to learn the photography, I was also, while I was filming with my phone number one, I was having that time lapse within the second phone and trying to record myself doing the thing and actually explaining it to the another camera what I was doing. And this helps me to revise myself, to try to get my mistakes, and then I'm going to share it with the community, and community is going to give me where I fail, and the community is going to position me as expert within the time, because building a skill actually takes time. You can't learn a whole book in one day. This is why you need to be actually consistent and show up every day, and also patience is very important. Then 6, realistic expectations and mindset. As I said, in first 30 days you can basically expect first results and first client. I'm no joking. You can learn something like AI implementation in 15 days. You can learn it from scratch. If you focus, if you actually get the modules right, if you space your time, and if you have the good timetable, and if you're good, of course, at managing your time. You can watch the previous modules and how I actually and other successful people manage their time. Once you actually know how to position yourself, then it's going to be so easy to learn that skill, and in the next 15 days you can focus on getting that first client. In 90 days, that skill is going to become strong enough to charge 1k plus per it, and then in 1 year that skill turns into full-time income or your business or agency, and you can basically live from it, and you're above an average person. And if you actually stick to it, focus on it for 1 to 2 to 3 years, then you're going to be irreplaceable. You're going to have that authority, and people are going to know, like, and trust you. And then I have the final message for you. If you master a skill that solves a problem, you will never be unemployed, because focus plus action is all over the theory, because theory is something that we can learn. This is what I'm saying. This is the theory. You actually need to sit down, watch these modules and implement it. Ask me questions, ask the community. And once you actually get your hands dirty, then you're going to get better at that skill. And then you're going to have the trials and errors. Your head is going to hurt. But after all that pain, you're going to sign that client, then 2, 3, 4, 5, and then basically be the final boss if you get it right, if you become the business owner, as we said, and the SEO. The skill you learn today determines how free you are tomorrow. And this is pretty good sentence from Nietzsche, the best psychologist in 20th century, because the skill you learn today is going to determine your future and your tomorrow, and basically in future your kids, your wife, and people around you and people you love. If you try to summon all of this, we need to know that diploma isn't financial security. Skills that market doesn't pay equals wasted time. Also, common mistakes are learning irrelevant skills nobody's looking for, focusing on theory without practice, and believing you must be an expert before you start. And then we have a formula: skill times demand times monetization, and also the examples of high-tech skills that you're going to see in next modules: copywriting, sales, paid ads, content marketing, automations, and AI implementation, and how to choose the right skill for yourself. The 3 criteria rule: the market needs it, you can start learning it quickly, and it can scale into a business. And also first steps in learning: instead of 20 skills, focus on 1 in 90 days, learn, apply, and document, use content, and trying to build an info brand. And then in 30 days, you're going to have the first results and first client. And in the next 90 days, you're going to have a strong skills enough to charge 1k, and in 1 year, skills turn into full-time income of your own business. And final message: the skill you learn today determines how free you are tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching this module. Hope you learned something new. If you got any questions, just shoot me a message. I'm 24/7 available here and want to help you. So if you watch this module to the end, thank you. If you got any questions, just shoot me, and that's it. Bye. See you in the next module. Let's work.